We might as well just speak now then, because he doesn't want to engage. I'm not going to force him.
So I might as well ask you, do you accept evolution in terms of animals evolving over a period of time?
I accept evolution as a working model.
Okay, so that's a good point. Shall I refine my question? Do you believe that humans came about through a process of natural selection over maybe, I don't know, 100,000 years? No. So what's your model for how humans came about?
We believe humans were specially created by God.
Okay, but was it Adam who was breathed life?
Yeah, he was the first human being.
There is a lot of evidence for human-specific evolution, right? We share a lot of DNA with apes, right? I'm not saying that's a proof of evolution, but we can see specifically we have a certain amount of chromosomes. Apes have one less, and we can demonstrate.
But just because, you said yourself that's not evidence, then there's no point bringing it, right?
If my grandfather will come over, he's got a PhD in it's not evolution, it's in like cellular biology, and he can probably explain that.
Fantastic.
But
here's my kind of thing with evolution. That's why I was interested to see where he was kind of coming from, because in the God debate, which I'm more interested in.
No, me too.
You're Christian?
No, I'm like agnostic.
Agnostic. Fantastic. I appreciate your honesty, because some people come with the atheist mindset, but when you ask them, are you convinced that there's no God? They go, no, I'm open to it. I'm saying, but that's not an atheist, right? So at least you've come with a more well thought out.
Yeah, I'm kind of like looking to be convinced almost.
You'll say that again?
I'm sort of looking to be convinced of the existence of
Fantastic.
God.
All we ask is people are open, right? That's the whole point of a discussion. So with regards to evolution, what we say is evolution is a working model, and that's fine. You've got the third way evolution, you've got Lamarckian evolution, you've got neo-Darwinian evolution. So there's all sorts of evolution. Different models have different evidences and scopes. But generally speaking, what we say is, regardless, evolution is a mechanism. God is a creator of mechanisms.
Okay. So you're almost like an intelligent design proponent, like God-guided evolution, maybe?
No. So what we're saying is that these things, regardless, are mechanisms. So they don't refute the notion of a God.
No, I'm not claiming they do. No.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to know. I would have asked him, like, where are you going with this? Like, why are you so passionate with evolution? Do you see?
I don't know what's going on.
That's why first I was silent.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to engage with him. Like, why did he jump to evolution straight away?
Yeah.
Because, like, what is that going to prove?
Yeah.
But it's good to know that you're not going there. But then we can go more foundational and fundamental.
Yeah, if you wish. Yeah.
So, do you believe, or when you observe what's around you, do you believe that there are things that rely upon other things?
Yes, like me standing here requires the ground beneath my feet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Plants require water, we require parents.
We're contingent on other things.
Contingent, fantastic. So do you...
see where you're going, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So do you believe that these reliances continue ad infinitum, or do you believe that they have an ending or a start point? Hello there.
So it's my grandfather.
Nice to meet you.
We're off evolution now, but anyway. I don't believe I don't believe in like an infinite regress.
He introduced me to yourself. You got PhD in cell division, or?
No.
That's an irrelevance. That's not an irrelevance.
No, he brought it up before.
Yeah. It was only because I was explaining why I wanted it.
This was just me being polite.
It doesn't make a difference.
Thank you. It doesn't qualify me to have a valid view on anything.
No, exactly. It was just because he spoke about his father. I just wanted to give you that respect, and I was going to go back to him.
No, I don't believe in an infinite regress or anything along that. Not in the sense of. Well, I assume you're making the
so I gave the
cosmological.
So I'm saying, out of the two options, do you believe that the reliances go on ad infinitum, or do you believe that there is an end to that chain, which is a unpowered power source?
So the uncreated creator. I'm almost agnostic on that, because I don't claim to say that the universe had a finite starting point, or it actually was perhaps continuing for infinity. So I'm not going to commit to any of those things because I don't know myself. So do you think that's a valid position? Because
you can say you don't know, and then we can explore both options, and you can do the inference to the best explanation. I'm not asking you, you have to come up with this. I just want to give you some more food for thought. Maybe you can go back, research it, and then come back again. So out of those two positions, when you see a chain of reliances, so these are things that rely on something else for their existence. In other words, they receive. So when you have an infinite chain of receivers, surely there has to be a giver. Yeah, there has to be a giver through which they're receiving from. Otherwise, you've just got a net lacking, right? A lack followed by a lack, followed by a lack, followed by a lack. There has to be a giver at the end of it.
Foundational, uncaused cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it fundamentally makes sense. How would you go about demonstrating that this uncaused cause is anything like the God of the Quran?
So then,
I'm wondering.
Yeah. So then, So when we've established that the person that we're speaking to is open to the fact that there could be an independent existence, which am I correct to assume you are?
I mean, sorry, an independent existence.
Yeah. So at the end of that chain, the unpowered power source, the uncreated creator.
Yes.
So, like we call it according to the contingency argument, we'd say a necessary existence.
Necessary being, yes.
Yeah, necessary being, necessary existence. You open to that, right?
So I'm not committed to it, but I think it could be a potential explanation for our existence. Yeah.
Do you think we should stay on that before we move on, or I want to know how committed you are to this? Is it going to be
I think there could be a necessary being, but I think that necessary being would be God, and this is why I'm an agnostic, right? But I think there are other problems that would make me unsure about whether this being has certain qualities.
No problem, but that would be the next step, right?
Oh yeah. So you're saying establish this necessary being, and then we'll figure out what it could look like. What would it?
You could believe in Spinoza's God, right?
Yeah.
Do you see?
God in the nature, the universe is God.
Yeah. So they accepted a necessary existence, but they didn't give the attributes that we as Muslims give or as Christians give, right? So I just wanted to establish.
For the purpose of the argument, I'll concede that we can have a necessary being, and I want to see where you're going to go from that to try and prove that.
To be honest, I think most of the contention relies on here. If you believe that the argument for a necessary existence is sound or not. Otherwise, then going forward just for the sake of it, I wouldn't think is beneficial. I'd rather hear your contentions opposed to that. For example, you do believe in an infinite regress, right? That would be the alternative.
The alternative. I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, yeah. Do you want to go and demonstrate why this infinite regress is illogical? Let's imagine that, for example, this we use the bounce collapse model. The Big Bang was the start, and then the universe expands, but it slows, and then it collapses, and then it repeats. Do you want to demonstrate why that wouldn't work?
Yeah. So
fundamentally.
Yeah. So before I get to that, remember that point. Okay. So there's something called the principle of proportionate causation.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means that something bereft of a quality cannot produce it.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have an infinite chain of receivers. They can't now create a giver. Yeah. So there has to be a self-sufficient entity.
Uncaused cause.
Yeah, an uncaused cause, an ungenerated generator, an unpowered power source. At the end of that chain, that gives rise to all of these things, because that's the only explanation that seems, according to the inference, that the best explanation, unless somebody is willing to give another one.
Okay. I'm happy to concede that necessary being.
Okay, fantastic.
This is what I'm trying to get at.
So then I'd ask a follow-up question. This necessary existence, would you accept that it's self-sufficient?
Oh yeah, it can't be caused by anything else. That's
fantastic.
Fundamental.
Do you believe it's a singular as opposed to a plural?
Yeah.
Do you believe it's pre and post eternal?
Yes.
And do you believe it's unique in terms of what it is?
Well, as in there is nothing else like it. Yes.
Fantastic.
I mean, if it's singular, it's monotheistic. Then yes.
So chapter 112 of the Quran lays out this definition of God that I've just laid out to you, that you aligned with, which is, say He is God the One, independent, pre and post eternal, and there's nothing like it.
Okay.
So that is the Islamic definition of a God. I know the Christians wouldn't accept that.
No.
I know the Hindus wouldn't accept that.
With the Jews, because they sort of have a simple form of not extreme monotheism, but pure monotheism.
So they may accept, or they probably do accept, say, the one God, but then the way they interpret scripture and who is actually giving laws and who actually has authority, that's where they would differ with the Muslims, because they believe God shares that authority with the rabbis.
Okay.
Which we don't believe in.
No.
We say God is obviously at the top, right? Then second is the Prophet sent by God. And then it's the Quran, which is revealed by God via the Prophet to us.
So yeah.
So that, I mean, do you have any issues with that 4 criteria that I said for the necessary existence?
No, I mean, if there is a necessary being, I think it would be sound. It would have at least those attributes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So then we say that, then it follows from that if that necessary existence is, would you say that he's all knowledgeable?
I see. Yes. Yeah, potentially.
And wise?
Yeah.
And do you believe it's befitting of wisdom to create things without a purpose?
If it's, I'm not too sure on that one. Just
for example, a painter who's there with no objective whatsoever, just doodling, would a person?
I mean, it would seem it would be reasonable to create something with a purpose for its creation. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we say. That's the logic behind God creating human beings, then sending a manual for us that we can understand ourselves, because there are certain things, I'm sure you'll accept, that as human beings we generally accept in terms of morality.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, I agree with you there,
yeah.
because there's that objective subjective morality, right?
Really.
A lot of people that don't believe in God, in fact, I don't think I'd be incorrect if I say everybody that doesn't believe in God, they believe in some form of subjective morality.
I wouldn't claim that I could justify a form of objective morality without a God, but I do think there are people who believe that they can actually I think it's predominantly everyone who doesn't believe in a God is usually going to have some form of like ethical non-cognitism, like not like subjectivism. Yeah, generally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we say that there are certain things that are innate within us, those things that aren't. Fitra, absolutely. And for where our fitra doesn't take us, that's where we've got revelation that's been sent to us via a prophet. So the follow-up question now is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or rather, was he a prophet or was he not a prophet? So I guess my question to you would be, according to your limited understanding, what do you believe? And feel free, I know our conversation has been, rather respectful and positive, so I know you're coming from a good place, so I want you to be open. So what do you think the Prophet was likely to be from your worldview?
Likely to be, as in whether he was...
So like, was he a prophet? Was he like mentally unstable? Was he a liar? Was he this? Was he that? Like, what do you assume him to be?
I almost wouldn't know, and I mean, he could have been. He could have been. I almost wouldn't know. He could have been a liar. He could have been. Well, if I
let's stick with that for now. Yeah.
Okay, liar.
Yeah. So why would you assume that he would be lying?
Because the conclusions because what he would have taught would have then confirmed Islam as the true religion, which I'm not convinced of as of yet.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So, why would he be lying? For what personal incentive would he be lying?
For the purpose of having a good group of followers and people who. I mean, this isn't my area of
no
knowledge
problem
at all. So it's
and I'm not going to pin you down on that.
Yeah.
I just want to go with where you are at this place in time. Where you are in terms of your knowledge, what you've gathered, and I just want to kind of go with that. I'm not going to pin you down on anything. Okay. I just want to walk you through it. So you're saying you could be a liar, and I assumed that from a liar you mean somebody that wants fame, somebody that wants...
Yes, some kind of ulterior motive of some kind, but I wouldn't know.
And that ulterior motive, if we explore them, could be money, they could be women, they could be fame. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
There's quite hollow motives. I mean, it could just be the wish to be seen as important. So it's okay. Fame. Sure, fame. Yeah, fine.
Anything else that I've missed out?
I'm sure there are, but I can't bring them to mind right now.
Fantastic. If they do come, you can let me know.
Yeah.
So the Quraysh, which was the tribe, the prominent tribe of that time, when they saw that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was actually growing in terms of his worshippers and his followers, they actually went to the Prophet and they actually tried to mitigate his growth and said that, look, if you want women, we'll give you women.
Yeah.
If you want money, we'll give you money. If you want fame, we'll give you fame. If you want even, somebody to help cure you, if you have issue, we will give somebody to cure you. And he said no to all of that.
Right.
So clearly that was not the motive. Otherwise, when he was given that, surely he would have accepted it. And the issue is that had he accepted it at that time and then rejected it later on, other
he
people
be-
would have come and then that
criticised.
exactly that.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Could that not be the reason for rejecting those things? Because if he had accepted, if he had accepted those things, then it would be easy. When we were speaking now, I could have said, oh well, he did. He accepted these promises given, and therefore he had an ulterior motive. So would that not in itself be sufficient reason for him rejecting them?
Absolutely, but the first and foremost you said was fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that this fame, money, women has been disproven by the example that I've given?
I don't think it's been disproven, but I think it's pretty less likely. Yeah.
Less likely. Then what else would you require for you to think that he's doing it for money? Somebody that accepts a lot of gifts, or somebody that's living very lavish lifestyle? Like, give me some things that you think.
Well, I mean, I'm not too sure, but I think potentially the desire to be seen as an important figure, which is that not what he?
It's fame, right?
Yeah, but is that not what he achieved? Like, he's still, one of the most famous people in the world, bar,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing is that a lot of that fame came after he passed away. It wasn't done through his, because when he was there, Islam was pretty much within Makkah and Medina, which are two small cities in Saudi Arabia, which is not a massive country, right?
No, I see what you're saying. So
Do you see?
Yeah. So it could be unlikely that. Yeah, no, that's interesting food for thought.
So surely, if a person's alive and he's looking for fame, he will first and foremost try to secure that within his lifetime, so at least he can benefit from that fame. Correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't benefit if you're dead.
Exactly.
And there's no afterlife of any kind. Yeah. So.
Exactly. Unless if he is a messenger, and then he's been given the bigger picture that he plants the seed, he starts a movement, and he puts a foundation in place, and he has students, and then they eventually will spread Islam. And I'm sure you know, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. It's second to Christianity at this moment in time.
Yes.
So other things that would indicate his love for wealth would actually be his clothing and how he was, and seldom would he be found wearing,
Luscious garments. Yeah.
luscious garments. Exactly. He wouldn't be on really red camels, which were regarded as very prestigious in that time. He wouldn't have a grand building, and he wouldn't, even when he passed away, he didn't have a large mass of wealth. In fact, he actually said that his descendants don't get his inheritance. The prophets don't leave inheritance in wealth and material objects. So that again is counteractive, right? So what else do you think it could be?
At the current moment, I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's interesting food for thought. It's something I'd have to.
So my argument here
Yes,
is exhausting those options.
Yeah.
Was he a liar? Was he,
crazy.
unwell? Yeah. Was he crazy? Was he this? Was he that? And then in the end, the only thing that's left is that he was telling the truth, that he was actually a prophet. Then we move on to the next phase, which is let's analyze what he actually said, his prophecies.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you compare his prophecies with like Joseph Smith, or the I Ching, or the Mayans, or with Jesus, or the likes, the Prophet, peace be upon him's prophecies are completely different, and they're multi-layered. And that also then furthers and acts as evidence with regards to what he said. And then we can go further. So what do you think about that line of reasoning? Is there any issues with that? Fire back.
Well, right now, I wouldn't be able to think of anything at all, because I mean, this is actually very interesting, because I haven't personally gone down the route of understanding the Prophet and his claims but
Put it here, not there.
So it's good you've got a Quran.
Oh yeah, I was just giving one by.
Yeah. Walaikum salam. Are you okay?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
So yeah, Quran is, it's very good. You've got it. You've come with a very good kind of mindset. I would suggest, if there are some questions or you want to continue the conversation, or do you feel like that's food for thought and you want to go back and you want to come back again?
I actually want to look at it and see.
Yeah,
see
so
what I
I'm
think
flexible.
Yeah, no.
You lead the conversation.
I think I'm happy to sort of conclude there, and that is something I have to absolutely look into. And I appreciate
Fantastic.
your time today.
So you asked my channel. My channel is Smile to Jannah Extra.
Yes. I thought I did see you.
Yeah, so Smile to Jannah Extra. That's where we upload these discussions. And then you'll see that we'll upload the full discussion from beginning to end. Watch it back again. Cross-reference what I've said. If there's anything inaccurate, come back again and say, look, I just wanted to follow up these sorts of points.
These points. All right, perfect. All right, thank you very much.
What was your name?
William.
William. Nice to meet you, William. And William's father?
Grandfather.
Grandfather. You look very young, sir. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you very much.
Take care.